Post parade for tonight's first race. Then we'll have a line to be announced for 5 Katie's Brett in the second race. Kathy Hawk brings him out for the opener. Daily double exact and trifecta wagering. 1 Willie Earn-A-Lot, owned by Lowell Prickett, driven by Terry Gross. 2 Sharp Looking Guy, owned by Ken Cohen, Pacey Minlin, and Sam Coven with Chip Noble. 3 Young America, owned by Iris Horowitz, driven by Debbie Rucker. 4 Hurricane Sam, owned by the Walgrove Stables with Del S. Miller. 5 All-American Gunner, owned by Robert Dio with Jeff Fout in the bike. 6 is Chet's Lust of Life, owned by Deborah Smith with Dean Collins. 7 Showtime Magic, owned by Walter Beaver with Brad Hanners. 8 Sand Point, owned by Bob Sidley, driven by Jamie Dunlap. 9 Magic Snowdrift, owned by Tom Brinkerhoff, Leonard Buckner, Edith Huffer, and Ann Kirk, driven by Tom Brinkerhoff. 10 Harry The, owned by Ira Christel and William Wachtel, driver change to Ron Steck. Field for the first. And there they go. They're off and pacing. 3 Young America is off stride at the start. All-American Gunner takes the lead. Chet's Lust of Life, followed by Showtime Magic. Sharp Looking Guy along the rail, 4th. Sandpoint 3 deep on the far outside. The 5th Willie Earn-A-Lot drives in there, 6th. Magic Snowdrift ranging up on the outside. Harry The is next, followed by Hurricane Sam, and Young America will ride the tailgate there into the quarter-mile pole. A little bit rough back there in mid-pack was the 2 Sharp Looking Guy, flying by the quarter in 27-4. Chet's Lust of Life grabs the racetrack for Dean Collins. All-American Gunner settles down second. Favorite Showtime Magic third, followed by Sandpoint in 4th. Gap of 3 Sharp Looking Guy 5th. Magic Snowdrift still uncovered 6th. Harry The tips and rolls from 7th. The 1 is next. Willie Earn-A-Lot 8th along the rail. Moving up on the outside, Young America 9th. Nothing yet from Hurricane Sam. They're at the half-mile pole. Chet's Lust of Life is bouncing right along in 58 flat. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Chet's Lust of Life on top. First the flush. Coming with a rush here. Showtime Magic up on the outside, and Sandpoint will be taken right along. They're off the 5/8 and they head to 3/4. It's Chet's Lust of Life on top by a half a length. Showtime Magic right alongside in second. All-American Gunner in the pocket third. Followed by Sandpoint 4th. Far outside Harry The 5th. Magic Snowdrift looking for racing room in 6th. Next in line, Sharp Looking Guy 7th, 8th on the outside. Young America. They're racing by 3/4. Chet's Lust of Life is strong in 127-1. Moving up on the far outside, Harry The. Along the rail, Showtime Magic. Sandpoint still has some kick down the middle of the racetrack. It's Chet's Lust of Life. Here comes the program pick at him on the outside, Sandpoint. Chet's Lust of Life and Sandpoint. 2 wide here, and Sandpoint getting up. Number 8, Sandpoint, 3-year-old bay colt by Sandman Hanover out of Darnett. Owned in Painesville by Bob Sidley, trained by Mike Metters, given a well-judged drive tonight by Jamie Dunlap. Mile here 157-1 and a lifetime best. 8 Sandpoint is the unofficial winner. The inquiry sign is up. Please hold all tickets. Sid, leased by Ron Barker, driven by Sean Barker. 7 is Sand Best to Sam, owned by Lloyd Davis, driven by Jack Daly. 8 Greg's Hoot, owned by Greg Houston with Brad Hanners. Numero 9, Alante Spur, owned by Vernon Byers Jr. with Rick Dingledine. 10 Kata, owned by Chad Linkhouse. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. 7 minutes until post time. Scratch number 4, Beer and Bone. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Katie's Brett takes the lead with the competitor along the rail second. Sand Best the Sand, the late leader, tries to get the 3-hole duck and tuck and got it. Mark, Set, Go settles in there fourth. Kata out of the second tier fifth. Along the rail, Jingle Jangle, followed by JB's El Cid, Greg's Hoot, and Alante Spur. And we're on our way to the quarter-mile pole. Up top, it's the favorite Katie's Brett and Dave Hawk flying high and easy length. Mike Weller and the competitor on his heels in second, opening up 28-3. Past the stands they roll to the half-mile pole. Katie's Brett leads by a length and a half. Right there in second, the competitor, followed by Sand Best of Sam, skimming the pylons in third. Mark, Set, Go. Fourth, Kata to the outside. Fifth, Jingle Jangle, ready to set sail. A gap of 3 lengths, JB's El Said, Greg's Hoot, and Alante Spur. Around the paddock turn of the half-mile pole, they're all in pursuit of the 2-1 co-favorite Katie's Brett. Ranging up on the outside, Mark, Set, Go. The half, 59-1. Field of 9 straightens out down the backstretch. Katie's Brett will try to last on the front end. The competitor lives up to his name so far in second. Living on the outside, Mark, Set, Go. Third. Back on the attack, Sam Best of Sam. Ready to strike 3 deep, Randy Tharps and Kata. JB's El Cid, Jingle Jangle between horses. Greg's Hoot along the rail. Alante Spur wide to the outside. Racing by 3/4 in 1:28-1. Driving around the far turn, KD's Brett. Here comes Sam Best of Sam with a rush on the outside. Sam Best of Sam on the outside now takes the lead 3 parts of a length. KD's Brett, no match for him in second. The competitor cannot go on, and TV Tips will open up tonight with this daily double as Sam Best of Sam is going to cruise to victory. Katie's Brett second, the competitor third. And Sam out of Bester Robin, owned by Lloyd Davis of DeGraff, trained by Bill Fawcett, given a well-judged drive tonight by Jack Daly. Mile here 1:57.3, equaling his lifetime best. 7, Sam Best of Sam, the winner. Next post in 12 minutes. Householder driven by Dave Hawk. 3, a CL Terratano owned by National Trail Investment with Dan Ader. 4, Alarmist owned by the Alarmist Stable with Jeff Fout. 5, Passover Moon owned by Diana Russell, Tom Russell in the bike. 6, Looks Like Lindy owned by Anthony Brigano and Rusty Leas driven by Randy Tharps. Number 7 is Dapper Brad owned by Doug Macy and Ernie Hageman, Brad Hanners. 8, Happy Christian owned by Gary Bobo in the Car Star Country Stable with Jeff Smith. Scratch 9, Terry's Colt. 10, My Country Star owned by Richard Alexander. Chip Noble is in the sulky. 6 minutes till post. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Way to a pretty good start. CL Terratown takes the lead. Looks Like Lindy moves up on the outside. Passover Moon, closing between horses from third, is now taken back from off the pace. Bermuda Scooter gets away in fourth. Out of the second tier, My Country Star fifth. Baker's Speed Shop is next, followed by Alarmist. Dapper Brad up on the outside. Happy Christian as they move by this first panel, 27 2/5. Racing past the stands, Alarmist was off stride at the top of the stretch, moving to the half-mile pole. Here comes Looks Like Lindy to get the lead. 1 to 5 favorite lets him go, and Danaher might come right back out with CL Terratown. No sooner said than done. CL Terratown gets the lead, looks to bid this field an early good night. He is now racing under a quadruple purple Baby Nelson. They're at the half. It's CL Terratown by a length. Bermuda Scooters up to take him on. Ranging up on the far outside, here comes Dapper Brad along with Happy Christian. They're at the half-mile pole in 59-1. Out of the turn and down the backstretch, CL Terratown a length and a half. Bermuda Scooter on his heels in second. Looks like Lindy third. Back on the attack, Passover Moon fourth. Dropping back in between horses, Happy Christian up on the far outside. My Country Star, little more than a quarter of a mile to pace, and CL Terratown has opened up 6. Bermuda Scooter second. My Country Star is into third. Looks like Lindy can't go on. Baker's Speed Shop is on the move. Alarmist tries to fight back into it, followed by Passover Moon. Dapper Bread on the far outside and Happy Christian. They're into the stretch. On top by a dozen raw and a side of slaw. It's all CL Terratown. He's now on top by 20. Deep stretch. CL Terratown is the 16th of a mile back to the place spot, who is going to be the 1 Bermuda Scooter. Horse number 3, CL Terratown. 3-year-old bay gelding by Towner's Big Guy out of Terra, owned in Ocala, Florida by National Trail Investment, ran and trained by Dan Ader to a facile victory here in 157. 3 CL Terratown, the winner. It's official. For race number 4, number 1, Adam Quinton. Owned by Herb Spearman, Mike Spearman drives. 2, Shine On Sam has been scratched. 3, Sim Sam, owned by Silcott, Sparks, and Schwartz with Jack Daly. 4, Golden Falcon, owned by Thomas Roth and Quillen with Brian Sears. 5, Win Some Winner, owned by Marlon Smith and a driver change to Burke Lyons. 6, Wheat Collector, owned by Lana Sturgill Pollock and Sarah Rader. Kevin Sizer will drive. 7, Just Josh and You, owned by Ike Gabbard Jr. with driver Terry Groves. 8 is Dare Aribo, owned by Melby Ober with Rick Dingledine. 9, 10, and owned by Sally Paltrow and Tamara Shepard. Phil Cunningham will be in the sulky. 7 minutes till post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Sim Sam between horses takes the lead. Moving up on the far outside, Wheat Collector toward the rail. Golden Falcon gets away third. Adam Quinton fourth. Win Some Winner drives in there fifth. Followed by Just Joshin. After that, Dare Aribo, and the trailer is Tannen. As they move by the opening quarter, driving away on top by an easy length and a half, it's Sim Sam. As they move by the opening quarter in 27 3, racing past the stands, the half-mile pole, Sim Sam is out on top by an easy length and a half. Golden Falcon settled in there second, followed by Wheat Collector in third with a rush on the outside. Just Josh and You fourth. Adam Quinton fifth. Win Some Winner sixth. Followed in seventh by Dare Aribo, and Tannen is the trailer around the paddock turn of the half-mile pole. Sim Sam a length and a half. Just Josh and You. The Sacrificial Lamb first up on the rim second. Toward the rail, Golden Falcon third. They're at the half and a sharp 57 4. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Sim Sam will try to last. Pressing on the outside, Just Josh and You. Golden Falcon skimming the pylons in third. Wheat Collector is now chafing the rail in fourth. After that, Adam Quinton fifth. Down the backstretch in sixth. Dare Aribo, followed by Tannen up on the outside. Win Some Winner as they head to three quarters. By a length along the rail, it's Sim Sam racing by 3 panels in 1:27. Moving around the far turn, Sim Sam, Just Josh and You. Ranging up on the far outside, Wheat Collector waiting for the passing lane. Golden Falcon off the turn in the stretch. They're on their way home. Sim Sam, Golden Falcon in between horses. Just Josh and You. Wheat Collector trying to pull the big upset on the far outside. Here comes Wheat Collector to get the lead. Golden Falcon along the rail. Tannen coming late, but it's too little, too late. Wheat Collector tight between Tannen and Golden Falcon. Here's your unofficial winner, number 6, Wheat Collector. 5-year-old bag outing by Cam Fella out of Bill Collector. Owned by Lana Sturgill Pollock and Sarah Rader. Trained by Jim Pollock Jr. Driven tonight by Kevin Size. The mile 158 and 1. 6 Wheat Collector was the winner. 9, 10 and second. 4 Golden Falcon third. 7 Just Josh and You was fourth. One Our Mighty Sam, owned by Harold Paul and FBS Incorporated, and the driver is Ed Greeno Jr. 2 Game Gregory, owned by Russell Lee Stahl and Jerry Weininger, driven by Ryan Stahl. Number 3 Hurricane Season, owned by Dan Russo and Robert Parkner with Dave Hawk. 4 Amazing Steven, owned by Louis Gorgie, driven by Brian Sears. 5 KF Magic, owned by Henry Kaufman, Kevin Sizer in the bike. 6 Cinder Lane Magic, owned by C.E. Wingfield and W.K. Wingfield with Jim Daly. 7 is Magadan, owned by Select Equine with Jeff Fout. 8 Noble Cowboy, owned by Kathy Ratcliffe and Mr. Z, Jerry Zozel with Sandy Beatty. 9 Meadowland Muggsy, owned by Tammy Hoovler and Mike Metters with Jamie Dunlap. 10 Bumpstick, owned by Steven Stexton. Chip Noble will be in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time. There are no changes in the 5th race. Field for race 5 at the gate and moving through the turn. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Hurricane Season takes the lead. Amazing Steven between horses. KF Magic caught wide of the first turn to third. Followed by Our Mighty Sam in 4. Cinder Lane Magic far outside to 5th. Game Gregory 6. Bumpstick the 10 out of the second tier 7th. Magadan is 8th. Noble Cowboy 9th. Meadowland Muggsy 10th on the outside. 2 deep to the quarter-mile pole. KF Magic circles up on the outside. Zings them by the quarter. Whoa, I'll say 26 and 3. Quickly past the stands of the half-mile pole. Out on top, it's KF Magic and Kevin Sizer by 3. The favorite will be taken along nicely now from second. Amazing Steven past the stands. Hurricane Season third. Our Mighty Sam is back on the attack. 4th, driving up on the outside. Cinder Lane Magic 5th. Mid-pack rush on the outside. Magadan in 6th. Game Gregory 7th along the rail. Bumpstick catches the train as they hit the half-mile pole. Noble Cowboy is 9th. Meadowland Muggsy the tailgate. They're at the half. 57 and 3. Side by side and stride for stride as they straighten out down the backstretch. KF Magic by a head bob. Cinder Lane Magic draws alongside in 2nd. Magadan up on the outside 3rd. Amazing Steven fighting back in there 4th. Bumpstick is on the move 3 deep from 5th. Hurricane Season 6th. Our Mighty Sam 7th. Followed by Game Gregory in 8th. Meadowland Muggsy 9th. And Noble Cowboy can't go on. 3/4 in a fast 1:25 and 4. Ding-dong battle here going on the turn. KF Magic fighting back. Cinder Lane Magic alongside. Here comes Amazing Steven 3 deep off cover. He had a golden journey. We'll see if he can respond. They're inside the final 16th. Cinder Lane Magic, Amazing Stevens now shakes loose on the far outside. Cinder Lane Magic, Amazing Stevens, not good knife in the deep stretch. Cinder Lane Magic in front. Right. Here's the field. 1, All Fours a Flying, owned by Allison Hensler. Jeff Fout drives. 2, She Ain't No Saint, owned by Tom Roche with Michael Roche driving. 3, Tassel Action, owned by Michael Griffin and Melanie Williams. 4, TK's Kelsey, owned by Teresa Milhone. Terry Milhone drives. Number 5 is Become. Pete Polk, Kevin Sizer in the bike. 6, Crossing Over, owned by HBS Stable and Patricia Willem, driven by Marty Willem. 7 is Treason, owned by Chris Ross, driven by Jim Daly. 8, PG Margio, owned by George Johnson Jr. with Kurt Sugg. 9, Cleo Tratra, owned by Joe Lenning with Dave Hawk. 10, New Blue Shoes, owned by Donna Jean Anderson. Brian Weaver will drive. 11, In the Mutual Field, Jill's Flash, owned by TM Mount Pleasant and BB Shaw. Chip Noble will be in the sulky. 7 minutes till post time in this race. Please note that number 10, New Blue Shoes, raced. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. The 3, Tassel Action, is off stride. The 1, All Fours a Flying, is off stride. TK's Kelsey looks for the lead. Quickly out of the second tier, here comes New Blue Shoes. In along the rail, She Ain't No Saint gets away in third, followed by Become, ranging up on the outside to fourth. Along the rail, PG Margio is next, followed by Jill's Flash with a rush on the outside, Treason. After that comes Cleo Tratra. Gap of 2 to Crossing Over, far back to the 1, All Fours a Flying, and the 3, Tassel Action. That's a field of 11 by the opening quarter in 29 3/5. They're in parade, past the stands. Pretty good tussle going on here. TK's Kelsey on the outside. New Blue Shoes along the rail. PG Margio is now off stride. Around the paddock turn to the half-mile pole. Still in command along the rail as they hit the half-mile pole. New Blue Shoes. TK's Kelsey pressing every step in second. Along the rail, the long shot, She Ain't No Saint third. Here's Become gliding up on the outside fourth. Treason is next. In between horses, Jill's Flash. There goes Cleo Tratra with a rush on the far outside. Crossing Over is along the rail, followed by All Fours a Flying, PG Margio. Tassel Action is the trailer as they move into 3/4. With a rush on the outside, there goes Become to get a short lead. Become on top toward the rail, New Blue Shoes in the second. Dropping back, TK's Kelsey third. Toward the rail, Treason fourth. Jill's Flash in fifth. Cleo Tratra on the far outside sixth. By 3/4 in 1:31 2. Trotting around the far turn. It's still New Blue Shoes on top. Alongside Become. Here's Cleo Tratra with about 5 to make up. Inside the final 16th of a mile, it's New Blue Shoes. Alongside Become, Cleo Tratra and TK's Kelsey. Driving, finishing here, Become and New Blue Shoes. Become now gets the lead. And 10:40 to show. If you have 10 New Blue Shoes and 11 Jill's Flash, that was the field. And you get the same to place and show. Five Become is in the winner's circle, a 3-year-old bay filly by Overcomer out of Teddy B, owned by Fred and Pete Polk of Zanesville, trained by Ed Ryder, winning driver Kevin Sizer, and the mile 2:02 and 1. Windows are now up and on tonight's 7th race, field of 10 and no changes, post time in 13 minutes at 8:40. 10 New Blue Shoes and 11 Jill's Flash. That should have been. Here's a field for tonight's 7th race. Number 1, Mac McDrish, owned by Paver and Paver, driven by John Collins. 2, The Amazing Cosmo, owned by Stanley Swango and driver Brad Hanners. 3, London Bound, owned by David Evans with reinsman Ryan Holton. 4, Noble Needs, owned by Wilbur and Spencer Sindel, driven by Jeff Fout. 5, CR's Dare, owned by R.L. Cleveland and Rephard Reed. Jim Daly is in the bike. 6, Classy Kinda Colt, owned by T.M. Saunders and Kent Saunders with Dave Hawk. 7 is Ambient Siren, owned by Donnie and Charlie Conrad, driven by Charlie Conrad. 8, Barb's Cloud Dancer, owned by Star Country Stable and Jeff Smith. 9, Nitro Listen, owned by Tussing Run with Dale S. Miller. 10 Amber's Magic, owned by Rose Adams. Dan Ader will be in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time, and happy birthday going out to Phil Pater. Now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. We do a pretty good start. Noble Needs takes the lead. Mac McNish along the rail. Classy kind of colt, middle of the racetrack. Nitro Listen, 4 deep and on the move from the far outside. CR's Dare parked and driving. 5th, the Amazing Cosmo. 6th, the favorite is next, Amber's Magic. Followed up by London Bound, Ambient Siren, and the trailer is Barb's Cloud Dancer. Field of 10. Seating arrangements are complete. Classy kind of colt has them all in behind, opening up here in a solid 27 3/5. They're racing off that top turn past the stands of the half-mile pole. Classy kind of colt, a length and a half. Right there in second, the 9 Nitro Listen, followed by Jeff Fudd and Noble Needs, who is into third. The Amazing Cosmo brings the 10 Amber's Magic with him. Mac McNish is now 6th along the rail. CR's Dare 7th, London Bound 8th up on the outside. As they move into the paddock turn, Barb's Cloud Dancer is 9th, Ambient Siren 10th. They're at the half-mile station, 58 3, second quarter breather for the Hawkster and Classy kind of colt. Classy kind of colt trying to last on the front end is there by a length and a half. The Amazing Cosmo moves up on the outside. 3 deep off cover. There goes Dan Ader and Amber's Magic. Little less than 3/8 of a mile to pace. Amber's Magic on the outside now sticks his nose, his head, his neck in front, but the Amazing Cosmo is right alongside. Along the rail, the 6, that's Classy kind of colt. These 3 guys are heads apart in 127 2. First to give way, the Amazing Cosmo. Classy kind of colt still on the outside, attacking him in second. Amber's Magic fighting back along the rail. Noble Needs is into third. They're into the stretch. Amber's Magic under mild coaxing with a short lead. Classy kind of colt gives way when a big mile, but he's not good enough. Deep stretch, it's Amber's Magic, Classy kind of colt, and Noble Needs third. Here comes the unofficial winner of the 7th race, another promising youngster out of the Dan Ader stable, Amber's Magic. 3-year-old brown colt by Cam's Magic Trip out of Amber Macho. Owned in Franklin by Rose Adams. Rated and trained by Dan Ader. The mile 156 2 and a lifetime best. Number 10, Amber's Magic, the winner, and a double tonight for Dan Ader. Here's a field for race number 8. Number 1 is Search for Gold, owned by Beam, Napoli, and Franklin, driven by Jack Franklin. 2, Mercer Lane, Lil Guy, owned by Derek Peterman with Mike Wilder. 3, Neoteny, owned by Michael Foote, Craig Griffith, and Kathleen Foote with Randy Tharps. 4, Kinda Magic Fred, owned by Melby Oberg. Rick Dingledine will be aboard. 5, Buggy Wrench Dandy, owned by Ernie Hageman. Brad Hanners in the bike. 6, My Trap, owned by Christina Russell with Tom Russell. 7 is Lord Tinsel, owned by Parker and Berger with Darren Mauser. 9, Camascort, owned by Wilma Steyer. Jim Daly will drive at 9, Tucson Fun Time, owned by Gary Reynolds. Dan Reynolds will be in the sulky. 6 minutes start of the final, pick 3. There's one other change in race 9. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Mercer Lane, Lil Guy takes the lead. Search for Gold along the rail. There goes the old man, Lord Tinsel, with a rush down the middle of the racetrack. Camascort 4 deep on the far outside. Tucson Fun Time wending his way through heavy traffic. Followed by Neoteny along the rail. Kinda Magic Fred is next. Buggy Wrench Dandy follows him. My Trap is 9th and last. On their way to the quarter-mile pole. Out on top, it's Search for Gold, and Jack Franklin has his head down tonight. 28 seconds flat, roaring past the stands. Search for Gold, hoping things will pan out on the front end, leads the way. Kinda Magic Fred is off stride, further back in the field. Around the paddock turn of the half-mile pole, Search for Gold continues to lead the way. Mercer Lane, Little Guy of the Golden Journey in second. Lord Tinsel saving ground in third. Still on the outside, Tucson Fun Time 4th. Along the rail, Neoteny is 5th. After that, Camascourt in 6th as they hit the half. Racing next comes Buggy Wrench Dandy up on the outside. Kinda Magic Fred and My Trap. 58-2 up the backstretch. Still in command. Search for Gold by a half a length. Tucson Fun Time right alongside in 2nd. Mercer Lane, Lil Guy in 3rd. Lord Tinsel ready to strike 4th. Neotny is 5th. Camascourt along the rail. Kinda Magic Fred is up on the outside. Buggy Wrench Dandy and My Trap. They're by 3/4 in 128. Moving around the far turn, Tucson Fun Time parked. Every step is still up to challenge. Search for Gold along the rail. Mercer Lane, Little Guy the passing lane. Neotny is in the center. Lord Tinsel winds it up on the far outside. Lord Tinsel with a rush. Search for Gold is still game on the rail. Lord Tinsel on the far outside now gets the lead. Buggy Wrench Dandy along for the play spot. One Search for Gold was 3rd, 9. Tucson Fun Time 4th. Here's Lord Tinsel, 9-year-old brown gunny by Sidney Hill out of Parbo Blondie. Owned by Doug Parker and Harry Berger of Columbus. Trained by Doug Parker. Well driven tonight by Darren Mauser. The mile 157-3. Number 7, Lord Tinsel, the unofficial winner. Here's a field for race 9. 1, Tucson Charlie, owned by driver Scott Mogan and Donald Miller. 2, Tucson's Bad Boy, owned by Larry and Deborah Sears with Brad Hanners. Scratch the 3, Nat King Cam 4, Cotopaxi, owned by Joan Horn. Burke Lyons will be aboard. Number 5 is Master Sweet, owned by Donald Lane. Paul Ungashik is in the bike. 6, Cody's Little Boy, owned by Shalmer Houston, Dave Hawk. 7, CL's Rain Man, owned by Jerry Summers. Mike Metters with Jamie Dunlap. 8 is Gossamer Bay, owned by Louis Gorgie, driven by Brian Sears. 9, Watch Yourself, owned by Reno Breechler with Del S. Miller. And 10, At Large, owned by Eldon Combs and Carol Tharps. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. Scratch the 3, Nat King Cam, and there's 6 minutes till post time. Field is in motion, and there they go. They're off and pacing. Tucson Charlie takes the lead. Right alongside, Master Sweet with a rush in the far outside. Gossamer Bay and Tucson's Bad Boy. Close up and gaining nicely along the rail. They're into the first turn. Gap of 2 lengths to the 10 At Large, followed up by Cody's Little Boy. CL's Rain Man, far outside, Watch Yourself, and along the rail, Cotopaxi. As they move into the quarter-mile pole, they step it off in a quick 27 2/5. Racing past the stands. Up top, it's Brian Sears who has got the lead. It's going to be a short-lived one with Gossamer Bay. Tucson Charlie is on the move. Tucson Charlie gets the lead. Gossamer Bay yields to 2nd. Master Sweet 3rd. Tucson's Bad Boy 4th. The 10 is next At Large. Along the rail, Cody's Little Boy. Around the paddock turn to the half-mile pole. CL's Rain Man moves to the back, ranging up on the far outside. Watch Yourself and Cotopaxi. They're at the half in a sharp 57-4. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Tucson Charlie by a length. Master Sweet and Tucson's Bad Boy both come to the outside. Gossamer Bay along the rail, followed by At Large. Far outside, CL's Rain Man. Cody's Little Boy, Watch Yourself and Cotopaxi. They're side by side and stride for stride as they side wheel into 3/4. Tucson Charlie by a head. Master Sweet is next. Tucson's Bad Boy making a big move on the far outside in a fast 128. Moving around the far turn, Master Sweet. Here comes Tucson's Bad Boy up on the far outside. Tucson Charlie along the rail. CL's Rain Man on the grandstand side. Racing through the stretch. Tucson's Bad Boy with a rush. Gossamer Bay far outside. CL's Rainman driving finish. Here comes Tucson's Bad Boy. Here's Brad Hannerton, the one, make that the two. Tucson's Bad Boy, 3-year-old bay gelding by Tucson Hanover out of Oriental Pearl, owned by Larry and Deborah Sears of Delaware, trained by Mr. Ron Potter, driven by Brad Hanners. The mile 158 and 3 and a lifetime best for Tucson's Bad Boy. Holland, Randy Tharps will be aboard. 5, She Shoots for the Stars, owned by Marilyn Smith, Burke Lyons in the bike. 6, Nuke Skylark, owned by Ron Barker, driven by Sean Barker. 7 is Chicory K, leased by Jim Florio with Mike Wilder. 8, Lady Irish, owned by Estafio Panagitopoulos with Charlie Smith Jr. 9, Classy Mink Coat, owned by Mary Coffey with Jeff Fow. 10, G Look at Me, owned by Betty Jordan. Chip Noble is in the sulky. 7 minutes until post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Little Red Like Carey takes the lead. My Quota along the rail. Classy Mink Coat with a big move on the far outside. Out of the second tier, G Look at Me. Late lever, Nuke Skylark. She's on the move to 5th. A gap of 3 lengths, Touch of Summer. Parked on the outside, Marcia's Sharp Girl. Shoot for the Stars is 8th, followed by Chicory K in 9th. Lady Irish is 10th and last. Circling to the quarter-mile pole, driving away on top, it's Little Red Like Carey, 28 and 2/5. Past the stands to the half-mile pole. Little Red Like Carey leads away by a length and a half. By Quota the Stalker in second. Past the stands, Classy Mink Coat third. G Look at Me fourth. Nuke Skylark second, move to the outside. Followed by Touch of Summer. Marcia's Sharp Girl is still 7th on the rim. Shoot for the Stars is 8th. Chicory K is 9th, and at the end it's Lady Irish around the paddock turn to the half-mile pole. Little Red Like Carey bouncing right along there at the half in 59 and 2. Down the back stretch they roll to the 3/4 pole by about 2. It's Little Red Like Carey. My Quota on the attack in second. Ready to strike out a third. Classy Mink Coat. Here comes Nuke Skylark up on the outside. G Look at Me skimming the pylons in 5th. Followed by Touch of Summer between horses 6th. They're off the 5/8 and heading to 3/4 by about a length and a half, and the earplugs just popped out on Little Red Like Carey. Little Red Like Carey trying to last leads in 1:30. Driving around the far turn, My Quota. Classy Mink Coat is up on the outside. A 10th worth a long look right now. G Look at Me as they move to the top of the stretch. Shoot for the Stars is in the 5th. They're off the turn in the stretch and they're on their way home. Little Red Like Carey, followed up on the outside by Classy Mink Coat. My Quota, G Look at Me, punchless when it counts, in Chicory K, the late closer between horses. But it's Classy Mink Coat, Little Red Like Carey, My Quota, and here comes the 7, Chicory K, 4th. Sable out of Ideal Shalene, owned in Franklin by Mary Coffey, trained by Jay Oney, driven tonight by Jeff Fout. The mile 2 minutes flat, number 9, Classy Mink Coat, the unofficial winner.